What's the use of having a cycleway up Heath Street in Five Dock? What benefits are to be gained by retaining it? What does success actually look like? Can a picture sum up where the cycling infrastructure is actually converting the interested but concerned people into actual cyclists? I'm going to do more than show you one picture. I'm going to give you a plethora of pictures. This is what 15 years of extending the bike network in Perth has delivered. Some of it is a few minutes of the evening peak hour, with people heading home from the CBD. Other photos are of kids riding home from school, either with or without their parents. Then there's people just casually riding around their neighbourhood on a Sunday morning. There's kids in trailers and cargo bikes and dogs in baskets and people on scooters and babies in baby seats and families enjoying a nice day together in the sunshine and fresh air. There's people in wheelchairs and older people or disabled people riding tricycles. There's kids on balance bikes and trainer wheels. Sure, there's middle-aged blokes in lycra and very fit youngsters who look like they haven't had a proper meal all year, but they're mixed in with lots of casual cyclists who aren't in a hurry to get anywhere and who are ambling along without a care in the world. There's dresses and frocks and skirts and sun hats and strappy sandals. Sydney, by contrast, is not a friendly place to ride a bike. Anyone who drives or cycles know that we have major problems with aggressive, impatient and incompetent drivers. A car provides a lot of protection from other idiots on the road, but cyclists have no such protection. The fear of being hit by a car puts a lot of people off cycling. Although the risk of being hit is low, the impact can be very severe. Who wants to let their kids cycle to the local park for footy training when you're worried they'll get cleaned up by a driver or a car door on the way there? Aggressive, high-speed close passes from behind are absolutely terrifying and can be enough to put people off cycling for life. Steep hills are a particular problem for cyclists because only a tiny minority are young and fit and light enough to blast up a hill at a decent speed. Many drivers get really worked up when sitting behind a cyclist who isn't Lance Armstrong and who's climbing a hill at a snail's pace. Some drivers are nasty enough to express their frustration by blasting their horn, revving their engine, shouting threats, or executing a menacingly close pass to deliberately frighten the cyclist. This is an unfortunate fact of life, and is a big reason why we keep campaigning for safe, separated cycleways that keep vehicles well away from cyclists via concrete barriers. Heath Street has an average gradient of 11%, making it a reasonably steep climb. Since we can't flatten the hills to make life easier for cyclists, the next best thing is to provide a lane separated by concrete barriers to keep impatient and aggressive drivers well away from slower moving cyclists. If council removes the uphill lane and returns cyclists to the road, a lot of newcomers are going to give up cycling due to the perceived lack of safety on this section. Do you really think that parents towing kids in trailers or women riding in dresses will want to ride up Heath Street with drivers tearing up behind them and passing way too close for comfort? Now, I don't expect to see cyclists like these on Heath Street in numbers anytime soon. The changeover from driving everywhere to using a bike or scooter to get around the local neighbourhood can take years, if not decades. It requires long-term individual and cultural change. We really won't know if the Heath Street cycleway is making a difference until 2030 at the earliest. Long-term thinking is essential. New cyclists also want there to be a safe path all the way from their starting point to their destination. Take kids riding to school. Which parents would let their kids ride if there was a safe, separated cycleway for 99% of the distance, but it involved a very dangerous road crossing in the middle? The route needs to be as safe as possible for the entire distance. It's only as safe as the unsafest link. Removing the Heath Street link reduces the overall safety of the entire east-west regional cycleway. Imagine if we replaced a section of the Iron Cove Bridge shared path with a narrow rope bridge like this one. How many people would give up on doing a lap of the bay run if it involved clambering across this? Surely it's worth sacrificing a few on-street parking spots in order to have our future looking a bit more like this.